the scales have tipped. 12 years ago, it was heavily in favor of education and experience. And I see it going like this. It's almost at an even point here. That whether you're employed or unemployed, they want more than education and experience. Because a lot of them told me that they did not get the results they wanted from the people they hired during these last 2 years. They said when the economy was flourishing and doing well, those people were superstars. But when we started heading south, they were not able to stop the downfall. They were not able to turn us around quickly. And all their thinking and education and experience didn't help that. Our stock price still went down, our revenue's down 40%, whatever it may be. And that's when they said, maybe I need to rethink the criteria for my future hires going forward. And all, yes, sir?
Gordon, part of it is the employees, but the other part is, was the CEO, the CFO, the CMO, were they adaptable? So we can't say it's all the lower level, you know, from the top down. It's from the top. Were they adaptable?
I think that's a great point.
As a shareholder, you'd be questioning.
Right. That's a great point. And my answer to your question is, in most cases, no. Right? So in some ways, they're taking some level of responsibility for that and saying, you know, my thinking didn't help us either. So that's why I'm rethinking who are the kind of people I need to hire. But that's a great point. Yes, sir.
So could you talked about education.
Yes. Right.
So are you talking about people who have MBAs and other higher degrees, or are you talking about basic education?
Both.
So then why is there so much push on education in the U.S.?
There always has been. That's a great point. There always has been. There's a long history of that.
It's a political push and not required by the industry anymore, right?
Well, I think it varies from industry to industry and from company to company, of course. But the idea, and I think, and this is what I saw 12 years ago when I was researching for the book at that time, was that there was a strong belief that that was the answer. You know, plenty of education, plenty of experience is the formula for success. Maybe not so much today because the dynamic has changed so much.
And I think it started changing when someone like Bill Gates went to IBM and tried to sell, and they were not willing to buy his product at that point. And you know, they kind of missed the boat on it.
They probably did miss the boat on it.
He was not MBA or nothing.
Right,
you know? So
right, exactly.
that's
Didn't have
what
college,
history teaches us,
college degree, right?
Exactly. So that's what
Right.
history
So
teaches us.
he's a pretty unique guy in many ways. So, but the idea is that where it used to be pretty formulaic, there was a formula for how you selected people, interviewed people, how you placed them, and it fit neatly into your process and your company. And what I'm hearing today is maybe that's not how we should be looking at it going forward. So a side note here, and this is the employed-unemployed connection here, and that is some of the ideas I'm going to present, I think, serve both sides equally. If you're employed right now, maybe the way you should approach your employment, maybe, and there's always factors, right, is that what if you were asked to reapply for your job tomorrow? And there have been those situations. You've heard that, right? We lay off people, we re-interview them. What if you were asked to do that? What if the boss came forward and said, we're going to start over. Things just aren't working here. I'd like each of you to reapply. What would you say? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I like the way you think. I think you got a point there. I think that might be a chapter in my new book. I'm going to rethink all that. See, this is of as much value to me as it is to you. Yes, sir.
I tell a certain CEO who I represent, I said, look in the mirror. Sometimes that's the problem.
Right, right.
And the fact of the matter is, for people that are unemployed, You know, the real edge today, they tell you all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you have to create some type of disruption to become innovative.
Right.
And if it's not the norm, people are attracted to that.
Right.
Because even the hippies adapted in the 60s. Okay?
I did. Look at me.
Listen,
I used
I graduated from Stanford, so let me tell you, I know radical.
Okay,
But the
yeah.
thing is, that's what you have to do.
Right.
It's, you know, talk about branding and everything else, put it all out the door. And what you simply do is look at that mirror and just say, listen, I'm unique. Let me sell my uniqueness. Forget the education. I'll tell you one thing about education. It's great. It's no longer important. What do you do for me that makes you different?
I like what you're saying because I'm hearing that a lot. You know, what I'm hearing from those CEOs and hiring execs is, what is your value proposition to my firm? Can you articulate that? So if you were asked that question, how would you answer it? What is your value proposition to my firm? And this is under the situation where you've been asked to reapply. Probably won't happen in your company. But I'm suggesting to you that you think like that's what's going to happen. That's probably going to make you more valuable in some ways. But let's get back to this. What is your value proposition to your existing company if you're employed and your targeted company if you're looking for a job? And let me say one thing around that, and then I'd like to hear what you say. Let me say one thing quickly. The concept of your experience, which might be best represented by your resume, is about the past, right? I mean, isn't that in essence what it's about? Value proposition is about the future. That's the concept here.